Yeah, the other day here I opened up this bag of silage. This is that Sprint. It's an oat pea mix, and I mixed it, chopped it like half and half, tried to with second crop hay around when I did this, since it was all ready. Yeah, it's came pretty good. I do have a little bit of mold up in these top corners. The problem with grass, it comes out uneven. You get some air pockets. Most of the time it ain't a problem. It's very little mold. But yeah, it's kept pretty good. It's a little on the dry side. But of course this is the absolute last stuff I chopped. So it's starting to get on the drier. Now when I get in this back half of the bag, it'll, you know, like in here, this will probably be greener because this was chopped about the same day. And then this is the first stuff I chopped, so it's going to be a little bit on the greener side. But these grass bags, I've never really figured out how to do it. Best, you know, like I said, this is pretty good right here. Like I said, this is probably on the greener side. That's why it bagged up this nice. But I'm getting sick of this weather. Today's probably the nicest day we've had. And this just goes to show, even when the problems of weather you have in the spring of one year carries clear on into the spring of the next year. You know, last spring was so wet, you can never get this area leveled out, and you can see it's holding water and stuff. Can never get dried ups and get my ruts filled in from the year before to be able to bag. And then the spring was so wet, I never got any corn planted last year. And the first hay I chopped wasn't until June, and it wasn't worth anything. Cows wouldn't milk on it. And yeah, I say I should have all this. I normally do 3 to 4 bags across this area, maybe 5. I think I fit 5 in here. You need to do at least 4 bags a year. And I say I was able to get this one done here. But the next bag of second crop, I had a bag on the other side of that fence line. And I say it's just a mess. I mean, it's bad enough. It was wet all year. And I wouldn't even open this bag here yet. But today's Thursday. Yesterday we had drizzly rain. Like I said, today's been in the 50s. Yesterday looked pretty much like this. Saturday we had over a foot of snow on the ground here. So between Saturday and Tuesday, you know, it melted off, and yesterday was just a little bit. But the only reason why I opened this bag is because I couldn't get out to the bag I've been feeding. And I mean, it's been bad enough because of the mud getting out of there. But you get a foot of snow on top of this, and there's basically no way I was going to get in here. I mean, this is what the metal tracks on a skid steer end up. I mean, it's just, I've gone through here so many different times here now, trying to find different paths. The problem is the skid steer bottoms out. And like I said, I was afraid of getting hung up in this. So I kind of abandoned this bag for the time being. And to get feed for cows, I opened up that other bag. But normally I'd be going through here. Started getting all rutted up down there. So I started coming in here over. And it kept getting worse and worse. And now I've moved over to there to get a path. I went through here the one day. I actually got stuck up there by the road and had to dump the bucket of silage out, get turned around, drive all the way through here to get out of this. And now I've been coming in from the side here. And so that's, next day or two I'll be getting back into this. Like I say, this is just a grass Timothy And I think this might be some brome in this. I forget just which field I chopped last. But this is some nice stuff here. I mean, I know we tested this right after before I sealed the bag, and this was testing pretty good stuff. As I just finished, right here I'm at my mark. I've just finished the last of that. It's called Seedway 550. It's tall fescue, orchard grass, timothy, and Festoleum. I think I don't know how you pronounce it. But like I said, this is just some old grass. So what I'm going to get to do here is next day or two, dries up. Well, I just got weather alerts on my phone. A big storm coming through here tomorrow. But now that snow's gone, I could probably get back in here. I'll start mixing this half and half. But like that bag up there is, like I say, the back half of it is pretty much from these hay fields down here. The sun's probably screwing everything up. But on just over the crest of the hill there's 3.5, 4 acres. That's where that Sprint was. And I chopped this field with it and mixed them two together. And basically, like I say, for the amount of Sprint I had, I don't think I would have got half that bag. And it's not really worth feeding it for that amount of time. And one thing with cows is you want consistency. So that's why I mixed it with the second crop. It would give me more volume that's consistent. So instead of having, like, say, that Sprint that I might have fed over 2 months, mixing it will get me like 4 months of having a consistent feed. So that's one reason why I chopped that the way I did. And then this here, I wasn't really too concerned about opening this bag at this time. I'd say for what I'm feeding right now, it is, as long as it's cool like it is, it's not that much of a problem. But having 2 bags open could end up starting molding on me, and I won't be able to keep up with it. So that's why I want to get back into that bag here pretty soon to get the face cleaned on that one, so stay ahead of it. And but the biggest thing is, why I did go ahead and open it, I'm starting to get short on hay. I probably got enough hay at the rate I'm feeding it for maybe another month, maybe 6 weeks, and that ain't gonna last me until I can get hay baled. So the one barn of heifers I might actually have to start feeding silage to. So like I said, I might stay with this one feeding the milking cows, and then use that bag to feed the heifers, because like I say, this Sprint should be a little bit better quality feed, a little bit higher protein. And then like I said, I do have corn silage. It's it's about 18 miles away from here. The one woman I bagged silage for, we worked out a deal. She had some corn that wasn't going to make, it was going to be borderline making it even for high moisture corn. And we were trying to work out a deal. She was, well, we agreed on 100 foot of a bag, which would be roughly 100 ton, 120 ton maybe. And they got rained out about 70 foot. So I paid her the same amount that I was planning on paying her. I think she was looking for more anyhow, but we agreed on basically what she owed me for bagging. So, but the problem with that is I've been hauling it, and like I say, I got a dump trailer, and I go over there, I can haul enough home for the rate I'm feeding, and we're trying to stretch it out to get at least till midsummer. I could haul enough for about 5 to 6 days. Problem is, I got to haul the skid steer over, and I take my other skid steer with the tires on it, bring a load home, and then go back and get the skid steer. It's a pain in the ass because it kills most of the day. I mean, we're talking over 70 miles by the time I do both trips. But I haven't been able to get corn silage here for the last 3 weeks. because the last two times I got silage, I actually put chains on the front tires of this skid steer. And I mean, I was cutting ruts and barely getting in and out of there then. And then you start talking, now it's softer, and then we had all that snow. I just don't feel like going over there to get stuck. And I can't load this one on the trailer because metal tracks won't go up a metal ramp. So I've just kind of put it off. I'm going to have a lot of spoilage over there. I'm probably going to end up forking 1 to 2 foot off the face of that bag. You know, once it starts molding, it should kind of seal itself. And you usually won't have too much in there. You know, it's not like it's going to start here, and then by the time I get over, there's going to be 6 foot of spoilage there. But there's going to be quite a bit I'm going to have to fork off. But like I said, I got to wait until it dries up here some. But like I say, this is the biggest thing with these tracks. Yeah, you'll go. Yeah, but it's where you turn, it turns up everything. I mean, if you can just stay in one track back and forth, usually cut a rut down and it ain't too bad. But when it's where you're turning and pivoting, I mean, it just peels it right out. I mean, I used to haul it over there when we were in that barn and just fill the mixer over there, and that elevator, so I used to convey it up into the barn. And where I turned in where the mixer was parked, I mean, I dumped 2 loads of gravel in one time. We're talking driveway packed, and I spun that thing down about 1 foot into the ground just in that area, dumping into that. So, I mean, it's a toss-up. You know, I tried, my brother bought that 4-wheel drive Kubota, it's like 48 horse. I tried talking him into letting me take it over there and park it in her shed and using that to load the silage. And I only make 1 trip over there, and I'd have a 4-wheel drive tractor. But him and hodding around, and so like everything else, I ask somebody for something and I can't get an answer, nobody will do anything. So just to hell with it, I'll do what I can when I can. So, but yeah, I think if you go back to some of my very first videos, I think there's one when I was loading silage last spring on that side of the fence line, skid steer going through the mud and stuff. I mean, mud's bad. Biggest thing is that mud gets, especially when it freezes, gets packed in there. And them seals just ain't designed to keep mud out, and it just pushes it through the seals. This skid steer ain't bad. This one holds up pretty good. I maybe do 1 or 2 axles a year on this one. And it's usually the front axle because that's where all the weight is, and it seems to take the most stress from the turning. The New Holland skid steer I got, I don't know how many axles. I mean, I'd do 4, 5, 6 axles a year in that one. And if I'm lucky, it's just replacing the bearings. So, I mean, I've bought, I think, 2 complete axles to replace on that New Holland over the time. I used to have the tracks on that one. So, but yeah, sometimes you just gotta do what you don't want to do. I was hoping not have to open this bag for another month here yet, but like I say, I mean, I'm gonna have to change here something pretty soon because, like I say, I'm running short on hay. And that's just how bad last year was. Well, the ground I got down in Crawford County at my cousin's, for the last 2 years, I haven't even got hay off that ground. I baled hay down there last year, was just bedding stuff to get the dead stuff from the year before off the field, so maybe I could get a cutting of hay. And the bales are still in the field, so. But yeah, this turned out some pretty nice stuff here. It does have a little bit of a weedy smell to it, but I don't know, I think, well, no, yeah, probably it's the second crop. That second crop, I got to get out there this spring and spray some of this hay ground because that second crop last year was getting had weeds in it. So, I mean, it smells like that dock or a little bit of burdock or something in it, but cows are eating it. They're cleaning it up. In fact, I might actually have to add a little bit more today because they've been cleaning up everything I've been giving them. So, but yeah, just sharing the joys of the weather. That was the other thing this winter. We never really, we've had a mild winter compared to what we normally have. And it never really froze here that deep. Usually that keeps it from digging up too much. You get that crust in there, you can usually ride on it, but this year's just been pretty much mud. You know, we usually get 60 to 80 inches of snow. It's not uncommon to have over 100 inches of snow, and I don't think we've had much over 25, 30 inches so far this winter. And like I said, Saturday morning I woke up, there's a good 8 inches in the driveway, and we already had probably about 6 inches before that, so we had well over a foot of snow here on Saturday morning, and here it's, well, by Wednesday morning it was all gone. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you later.